What's going on, guys? Dickey Gaming here, back again with another video. Today I have something special for all you editors out there. Today is the day I give to you my CC pack. I've created this pack because I've seen a lot of montages and it's either I don't see a CC or it isn't a very good CC. So I made this pack to help you guys push your editing game to another level. Before I play the clips with the CCs on them to let you see how they look, I'll first explain what a CC is for anyone that doesn't know what they are. But if you want to skip to the clips, there will be a timestamp on the screen right now. If you're still here, that means one of two things. One, you want me to explain what a CC is, or two, you just like hearing my voice. Either's fine by me. So, the word CC is actually an acronym for color correction. So if you don't know what color correction is, it basically corrects the colors of your video to help it look better and help it set the mood for the whole video. It's more of a see it thing, so I think you'll get it once I play the clips. So how this will work is all 4 CCs will go over the same 3 clips. There will be 3 different songs played for each CC to show what type of songs go with each CC. And one more thing, there's a 5th preset that has all the basic effects on it, so you can change them however you want to help you make your own. Now I'll be quiet and play the clips.
What's your definition of success? I don't trust the thoughts that come
in the field ballin' with the team.
And with 2 magic words.
Hey, no pressure, never graduated, but
time's up, over, plow. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
Bring it back to the basement. Freddy Krueger shit where your face went. Lyrically, I murder you without.
Another year we'll dim divine. We'll play it back and slow rewind. I am literally in the air right now, wrapping up a store. This first class, I am.
Hey, who got the juice like me? Who got the juice like? Who got the juice?
I hoped you like the CCs, but now it's the tutorial section. So I'm gonna show you guys how to apply the presets and just stuff like that, and show you how to change the glow on that last CC. So just make that new project or go to your normal project and go and get your clip if you don't already have one. I'm gonna just use one of my older clips. And so what you're gonna want to do is so right in this section where you see the normal stuff like the clip name, you want to right click somewhere not on the clip and then press new, add an adjustment layer. Once you add that adjustment layer, you can then make sure you're on the adjustment layer. You click animation, then apply animation preset, and then you'll be able to apply any of these. So let's just apply that one. Then it'll take a second to load, but once it does, then it should be applied and should be playing. Just like that. So yeah, I hope you all understood that, and since we're on this one now, please don't crash on me. It might crash, and I might have to go ahead and reopen After Effects. I'll be back when it loads back up. Alright, so I'm back. It crashed, so yeah. Probably because I'm recording, but now I'm going to show you guys how to change the subtle glow So you want to go into here, the effect panel. It's right next to project. If you're in here, it's just right here, effect control adjustment layer. But you have to be selected on here, and then you can click on that. So I'll show you guys what all this does in just a minute, but for right now we want to look at the glow. So you can see this is without glow, this is with glow. So yeah, so all you want to go to is down here under brightness, wait no, color. You want to change, you can change that, and this is the pretty good spot for where it is. So if you just want to slide the slider, it should be able to change to whatever you want. See? But if it does look a little off for something, like if you wanted a green, you can always just mess with this and bring it down or up if you want. But I think mine looks good right there. So once you do that, that's basically how you change the color of this. Hopefully that made sense. Alright, so the next part is I'm going to show you guys how to make the CCs with the 5th preset. So I just deleted the adjustment layer, I added a new one, so we're going to apply the area effect to make a CC. And now you're going to see all of this stuff. This one does not have the glow because this is just the basic stuff I added onto all of the CCs. But the other ones also have something like film damages on the sad one, and there's a VHS filter on another one. So yeah, all of the plugins you'll need will be listed in the description. If you, just so you guys know, for it to work. So now we'll get into this. So what you'll want to do is, normally what you do for all of them is you bump the curves up and down, and what that does is basically it brings down the shadows and ups the brightness. And see, if I turn that off and I turn it on, you can see it just adds a more cinematic effect. It also has other sliders, so you can bump up the reds and greens and blues, but I try not to mess with that because it can tend to not look good sometimes. Now for film, this will do the main thing to it once you add those curves. So it'll automatically change, it'll already look different. That is because it's automatically set to something. So you do not need to focus on this. This just changes how it looks, but flat is the best looking. So what you'll want to do is basically just look through. If you want to look through all of them, you can, but I mean, you just find one that you like, and then once you find one that you like that, you come down to this next one and you can change these to change the look up a little bit and just find one that looks better, the best version basically. I kinda like that, just the original. So yeah, so now next is color temperature. So if you have a more warm kind of song, you get a like warm feeling, you want to bump this up to something like, I think it was up. Yeah, bumping it up will add warmth and bumping it down will add cold. So you have a colder type of song, maybe a winter kind of song. If you do a Christmas montage or something, you bump it down by a little bit, you know, not that much obviously, but maybe by -5, or I'd say the highest you want to go with this is maybe -20. Same going with well, you can go a little higher, maybe up to 50 max for warm temperatures. So we'll choose a warmer temperature. Tint, it just adds a tint over it. I wouldn't recommend it unless you like how it looks. Exposure, for exposure, it's if your video is a little bit down in, like, it's kind of dark, so maybe adding like 0.5 or 0.2 will help. Most of the time I suggest it, but you don't need to unless it is super dark. Next is contrast. So if you bump it up, it will bump up the contrast, basically it'll make the darks more dark and give it a more contrasty feel. But if you tone it down, then it will take the darks away. But normally you don't want to do that unless you're going for more of a vintage feel, then yeah. But in this case, we will go up 10%. Well, up 10. Next we have saturation. It's automatically at 100 because that's just normal saturation. But if you want to bump it up, it will bump up all the way to 200%. It'll just give it more saturation, like the name says. And if you bring it down, then it'll take the saturation away. So if you go for like a more sad song, like in my sad CC, it is, I think it was -20 I used for it. If it wants to oh wait, never mind. I'm dumb. I forgot this isn't percentage. I think I put it down to 75. Or was it? It could have been 75, could have been 50, but you get the point. And a more colorful song, like Just a Vibe, has this bumped up a bit. We'll leave it bumped up. Skin tones, basically, you just mess around with this however you want. You bring it to both sides, whichever looks best to you. Then you just go ahead and tone it down or tone it up until you like how it looks. Next is a vintage/modern. If you want a more vintage look, then you tone it down. If you want more modern look, then you tone it up. Oh shoot. Like that. In this case, we're just not going to touch it, but you can always bump it up just a little bit, just to give it a little bit more, or bump it down just a little bit, give it a little bit more of a feel. The vintage is definitely toned down on the hip hop CC, but we're just not going to touch it in this one. So for grain, I would suggest 20 to 25% grain at the most, because it can definitely be a lot. Let me turn that up to full. You can definitely see the grain in there. So something not, so if you're going for, once again, a vintage feel, sure, go for 20 to 25%. I wouldn't go any higher than that though, because it can really start to well, get grainy. So I feel like all your CCs should have grain. They don't have to, but at least 5%, just something, just give it a little bit of texture, you know. For this, we're going to go with 15, I think. Nah, we're going to turn that, we're going to 10%. Most of this is just messing around, trying to see what works for you, basically. Next is a vignette. So if you're going for a more dark, sad type song, I would suggest a 5% vignette. A 5 to 10% vignette, because anything above that can start making it look closed in. Okay, 20% is fine too, but I wouldn't go above 20% because it just starts to make it look more like it ends instead of like it expands. And so I would suggest adding a 5 to 10, 20% at most vignette to your sadder CCs. And then obviously strength, how much the film affects the thing. I would normally leave that at 100%, but you can change it if you like. It's all personal preference. Sharpen is the next setting. 20% sharpness is what I'd recommend for some. You can definitely mess around with this, see what looks best for you. I think in this case we're gonna put it to 10. A 10. But yeah. Next is S flicker. There's one thing, only one thing you need to touch in here, and that is the amplitude. This is, if you like how much it flickers, then you're all good. But if you want to mess around with it, either what it's at right now, or a 0.5. That's all I'd recommend. Or turn it off completely. You don't have to have it. It just gives it more of an effect, you know. Definitely for more of the hip hop, sad, CC, you know, those kind. It is in the Just a Vibe CC, but it is on this one, a 0.05. So it's not a lot. And with all of that, I think, yeah, that is it. You just basically be creative with it, whatever you feel looks good, and it should be fine. See? We just made a whole new CC. That actually looks pretty nice, not gonna lie. One sec. If you want, you can also just compare your stuff to the ones I made, and then so see, we got that one, and then we have that one. You can just compare what we did in here to some other ones, and then you can just see what I did. If you don't understand, you can just look what I did, and then you can tweak it around and get something different if you want. I definitely suggest tweaking the CCs for most of your songs, because most of them are, you can get different feels for different types, but so like for some of the songs that were played over the clips, I would have changed it up a little bit, but it was just to show the bass CC. Normally I would tweak them a little bit to make them fit more of each one of those clips, but I think that is all the time we have for today. This has been an 18-minute tutorial section. So if this helped you, please leave a like and subscribe if you want more stuff like this. I'm going to post a montage, maybe a week at most likely. A week at most, I'll post a montage. But yeah. I know it's been a while. I don't do much. I don't really have many ideas for this. So if you have any ideas, leave them in the comment section, and have an amazing day. Bye.